Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pauper Premier League, sponsored by CoolStuffInc.com and Wizards of the Coast. I'm Kendra Smith. I finally made it. Unfortunately, we had some severe Discord issues where it cut me out of the call, and when Alex tried to jump in, it did the same to him. So we're back now, and joined once again here with Brian Koval. Thanks so much for getting that running that solo there for a little bit. And no, that was a little unexpected.
Show must go on.
Exactly. So why don't you kind of catch me up to speed here on what happened here in this last match?
So in game one, Brian DeMars drew one land and died with barely casting a spell. And in game two, he drew 8 lands in his mono red deck and also died while barely casting a spell. So we didn't really have a match. You didn't miss much. It was the perfect time to be driving across town to find a computer.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. All right. Well, now we've got match number 2 here against Brian and CDM here. And boy, we got some cool decks going on here. What we got, Brian?
Yeah, so we have Dinrovatron, that's Flickertron, that I believe is the most powerful deck in Modern that exists. Or Pauper. Yeah. Tron is also the most powerful deck in Modern. But yeah, so the deck that's good in Modern, turns out it's also good in Pauper. And
they're a little bit different, though.
Yeah, it's a very different type of thing. Tron is a combo control deck in Pauper compared to a just ram a giant thing onto the stack on turn 3 deck, like it is in other formats. But if this engine gets online, they're based, like I said, they're a combo control deck that just has way more mana than they should. However, if they don't get online, they're a really awkward combo control deck.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, and the best thing you can do against Tron and Pauper is kill them before they set up, which Burn is very good at doing.
And that's what CVM's running here. So let's take a look at that real fast here. And we're going to pull that up in just a second. And look at this. So this is pretty classic Burn. This is a little, what we saw in the last match here, or I guess didn't see quite so much, was that, DeMars' deck is a little bit more of like, it's kind of like Burn, but with some of the pieces moved around so you actually have aggressive creatures. That's why he called it Sligh. But this is more your traditional Burns. This has your Thermo-Alchemist. This has your Curse of the Pierce Hearts. And just goes boom, 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 trying to count to 20 as quickly as humanly possible. And I think it definitely is one of those decks that actually can do very, very well against the likes of Tron. However, Tron definitely picked up some gas recently with the likes of Weather the Storm. Makes it much more difficult for the Burn deck if the Tron list can get that card.
Yeah, so there's one Weather the Storm in the main and 2 Mystical Teachings to go get it. So game 1 is going to come down to a pivotal turn where Brian can search for Weather and then gain 6 to 12 life, or he can't. And he'll either win or lose on that turn. Sideboards, though, Brian has a second Weather the Storm, 4 Hydroblast. That's the full set. 4. And a Hallow, which is super spicy. That's not a card you usually see in Tron, but that was a nod to CVM being a Burn wizard. He's played Burn in every week he's shown up so far. And Hallow is a sweet one.
Yeah.
And you can find it with Mystical Teachings. So if Brian can get his teachings online, I think that's really the crux. Like, if he can just find 4 ways to gain life, he's going to win. If he can't do that, or if his mana doesn't come together so he can't find the thing and cast it in the same turn, then he'll probably get run over.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how this pans out, and I'm really excited to see how things go. It looks like we're still got like a minute or so here out. So, Brian, what do you think is going to happen here at the end here? Obviously, we've got one of these 2 players who's going to end up going right to the finals, facing off against Adam Yurchik, Condescend himself.
I think that Chris VanMeter is going to play against Adam Yurchik in our finals. But Tron always has that puncher's chance where sometimes you just have Weather the Storm in your hand and you don't need to go search for it, and you just buy those 2 turns to breathe and set up your Tron and take over.
Absolutely. So it does sound like we're ready to go here. So let's go down to the matches and see what we got going on here. And woof, those are some spicy hands. I actually really like both of these hands, I think. What are your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, so Brian has a Signet, which is really important because this hand would be unkeepable without a way to filter those 2 colorless mana into colored mana. So he can evoke a turn 3 Muldrifter if nothing else comes together.
Right. He can also cast Compulsive Research if he needs to as well. So there's plenty of card draw in Brian's hand there. And Chris, even though he's sitting on cards like he's sitting on this Searing Blaze, which isn't really going to cut it for most of this match, but I mean, look at that. There's a Lava Runner off the top. That is hot. That is spicy.
Yep. Right on time.
Yeah.
That thing's going to get in for at least 6 this game, maybe 8.
Mm-hmm. Who was it, I think last week, that just went like runner on...
That was Michael Bunda versus me. He just had all 4 Lava Runners in play against my Tron deck, and I had no chance at all. Yeah. That
was unbelievable. So what we really need to see here is Chris just needs to get that right now.
Oh, there it is.
Well, there it is.
Kendra called it.
And I think this is going to set up a really quick win for Chris.
Yeah, so Brian's going to 8 right now. He's going to 5. Yeah, he is just dead. There's no way out of this. Unless he draws Weather the Storm.
Yeah, and that's not going to do it. So we are going to end up going pretty quickly here into game number 2. Just as soon as there it is.
Yep.
So let's go check out these sideboards, see what we got going on here. You see some Smash Smithereens coming in there from Chris here, and he's just taking out those Searing Blazes. No hesitation.
Yeah, Tron doesn't really need creatures to function. And eventually it'll need a creature, but it might be like turn 10 when they have 20 mana and they can do whatever they want. But Smash to Smithereens, Tron does need artifacts to function. Turning your large amounts of colorless mana into colored spells with Astrolabe and Prophetic Prism is essential to the plan. Smash to Smithereens is like, it's sometimes like 4 Stone Rains in a way. Like, and then it's messed up.
Yeah, and we're also going to probably see these Molten Rains come in too. Those obviously just deal with the Tron pieces, but not only do they deal with the Tron pieces, but they deal with some damage as well.
Right. So the theme of Chris VanMeter's sideboard is potent sideboard cards that are also burn spells. So Smash and Rain are just, if he casts a couple of those, it's a quick one.
Yeah, and there's some really interesting ones too here. If I had to take a guess, I think he's also going to try and bring in these Firebrand Archers, not only as a way to get a little, quick damage in trying to attack, but also as a way to be able to make each burn spell deal that much more damage. Yeah,
Brian does not have removal in any meaningful amount in his deck. He has 1 Rolling Thunder and the Hydroblast.
Yeah, now he's got the Hydroblast as well, which could actually be pretty relevant here. And let's see. Ooh. So if you're Brian, you keep that hand, correct?
Oh, yeah. That's the dream. You're holding a Weather the Storm. You get enough Astrolabes into play that you can get ahead of Smash to Smithereens. Because you can play 1 this turn and then 2 next turn.
Right. And Chris is going to be a little bit slower here.
Yeah,
he's not going to be too crazy slow, but he's definitely going to be a little slow.
Yeah, Skewer is not exactly a high velocity card. You do have to connect to make it count.
We are going to see that Lava Runner come down here.
Yeah, I think he's going to go Lava Runner and then Archer next turn, and then go for a giant Skewer turn on turn 3.
And it looks like Brian found the natural Tron here. So if all goes well, then we're probably going to see.
If these Astrolabes find gas, that's the other important part of Tron. Sometimes you just have 40 mana and nothing to cast. So there's Mnemonic Wall. All right, so he'll be able to weather wall weather.
Yeah.
He should be able to figure this out.
That doesn't necessarily lock it up for sure, guaranteed, but it almost does.
I'm not sure
why that other about this.
Oh, he's building Storm. He wants to play Weather for 6 next turn, and then Wall, get back Weather on the turn after that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Defensible.
So we're going to try to see Firebrand Archer come in here from Chris.
Right. So Chris is going to get in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 next turn, and Brian's going to gain a lot. Or now it's kind of interesting, like
because there is that Molten Rain in here.
Oh, don't evoke Muldrifter. Oh my god.
Can you say Danger Zone?
Yeah, I would not have evoked Muldrifter when I can already draw another card and gain a bunch of life with the cards that are in my hand.
Yeah, for sure. Where's that Molten Rain going?
Let's see if he goes after the mine. He did.
Oh, he did.
All right, so we still have Tron, but it's delayed for a turn. This weather is going to have to...
It's going to have to come down pretty much right about now.
Yeah. I like Brian playing Tower here instead of the mine. Like the haha gotcha is kind of fun, but now if he draws another Molten Rain, he's going to have to choose, and he does have a backup tower also. Do not cast that Signet, Brian DeMars.
No.
Don't do it. Yeah, he's just deciding if he wants to gain 6 now. Yeah.
And like we're saying, that doesn't necessarily cut CVM quite, completely out here. It definitely hurts, but don't count him out just yet.
Yeah, so Chris could play 2 more creatures this turn, or 1 more creature and a bunch of burn. There's a number of ways he could play this turn. Yeah, but Wall getting back Weather next turn, and then we have Mystical Teachings at the ready to start flickering that Wall.
And then, so I like what Chris is doing here, because now we've got this Firebrand Archer coming in hot.
Yeah, going wide here with creatures.
Please don't, Brian. There it is. He's hovering over that tower there for a second.
All right, so he can play the Signet to get an extra storm trigger, or an extra storm. He has 8 mana. His combo takes 7, and Signet is -1 the turn you play it. So he has exactly enough to gain 9 right now.
And then it begs the question, will that be enough then? Will CVM be able to get there? You got a Riftbolt coming in, and then you got Skewer. And that's like 15 damage right there. Plus going in for the attacks.
Yeah, CVM's sideboard strategy of bringing in more creatures is really paying off here.
Absolutely.
So Brian gains 9. He goes to 25. He blocks one of the 2 damage attackers. So he takes 4 from he takes 6 from combat because that Lavarunner is going to have haste. All right, so Lavarunner is going to come in. He's taking 6 from combat, which puts him to 9, or puts him to 19. He takes 3 from the Riftbolt, which is 16. And then the Firebrand Archers are 14. So he's and then the Skewers are another 8. So Brian's going to be at 6 the next time when he untaps next. And a Fireblast off the top is exactly lethal. So it would be crazy if CVM just powers through 15 points of life gain. Yeah, Fireblast off the top would be the cherry on the evening for Chris VanMeter's perfect sweep here. So personally, I never root for burn ever, but I'm kind of ready for this Fireblast. Ah, bummer. Brian will live to Mystical Teachings for another Weather the Storm at the very least. But that's still only that it's barely a fog, if it even is a fog. All right, so Prism into Teachings for Weather is gain 9. But he has to kill these creatures if he wants to play this game at all. I mean, Rolling Thunder is probably just his best draw. Or at least a Hydroblast to clear out some of this stuff. Let's see, good Teachings for Moment's Peace. Prism, Teachings, Flicker, Weather. All right, that would get him an extra Storm. Yeah, he does have Tower coming down, so he's going to have a whole lot of mana. Yeah, killing the wall, that's super heads up. Chris just denied that Flicker line. All right, Hydroblast was one of Brian's best draws, though. All right, so Teachings for Pulse. Pulse back the wall. He can't replay the wall this turn, though. Oh, he has a Signet that I forgot was over there. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. 4 to teach. He's got 8 left. All right, yeah, he can get the wall into play, but he can't weather this turn. But gaining 6 off Pulse is a big deal. All right, let's see if he finds that Pulse. Pulse takes him to 13. He blocks and takes 6. He's back down to 7. The Bolt puts him to 4. Plus 2 more. Bolt puts him to 2. He's dead to any spell, even with this line. Yeah, so if you play wall, then you don't get to Hydroblast. Playing Prism might be correct here, because if Prism just hits your Weather the Storm, you're suddenly winning when otherwise you're definitely losing. But if you... All right, yeah, he found the Prism line. Weather the Storm. Come on, let's do it. Let's go. Muldrifter. That'll be good if he gets another turn. Yeah, he's going to pick off an Archer right now. Archer represents the most damage in play. All right, taking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's at 3, dead to any spell. That'll do it. GG is Brian DeMars. Our hero burnt to a crisp. Good news for burn players. We have now categorically proven that actual burn is better than random creature burn. Even had an extra point to show off. Well, that was quick. We played 2 matches in 4 games. So Chris VanMeter is going to play against Adam Yurchik for the final playoff here to crown a winner of the Pauper Premier League. That'll be back after these messages.